Eagle has landed.
Hey guys, how you doing? And welcome to another episode of Arnold's Space Station. So, as part of today's episode, I'm going to go ahead and show you how and when to use apps from the Salesforce store, which is called the Salesforce App Exchange, and also when to go ahead and use a third-party customization, or perhaps you can go ahead and use some kind of middleware to create some customization. So, Salesforce has an app store, and that's called the App Exchange. Now, just like what you have on a phone, which is iOS, or maybe an Android phone, which might be Google Play, you can find a whole variety of apps. And these range from free all the way to paid. Now, the purpose of this is it allows you to go ahead and very quickly install something inside your Salesforce org without having the need to pay a developer for all the time and effort. And it goes ahead and gives you that functionality that you're after very quickly. So some of the key functionalities that you possibly can find, especially if you don't know your way around Salesforce much, would be some reports and dashboards, or maybe you want some functionality to be able to do some calculations for you in Salesforce. There are plenty of apps that will allow you to do so. Now, there is a difference between an app that is from the App Exchange in Salesforce, and there is also a difference between custom apps. Now, custom apps are usually not certified on the Salesforce App Exchange store, and you should go ahead and install them at your discretion. But I am going to go ahead and show you a few pieces of middleware that will allow you to integrate your Salesforce platform with something else very easily. And these might go ahead and provide you with the business functionality that you're looking for to speed things up and help with that visibility inside Salesforce. You can get to the Salesforce App Exchange by going to appexchange.salesforce.com or typing Salesforce App Exchange into Google. Once you click on the link, you'll go ahead and get to a page that looks like this. In here, you can have a look at some of the trending apps where possible. You can have a look at them based on category, and this of course depends on what industry, what type of application that you're looking for to solve a business problem. You can also go ahead and search for an App Exchange product. You can do so by either getting very specific. In this case, you can go to LinkedIn, or you can simply type in something like productivity, and that'll bring up a search result. Now, when searching for an app, you have the ability to look at what type of solution it is, what the associated cost for that particular app are. There are plenty of apps that are in fact free. You can also ensure that the app that you're actually looking for is suitable for your edition of Salesforce. And you also have the ability to select the different languages that that app might support, and also to narrow down the search results based on rating. Now in this case, what I've gone ahead and done is I've done a search for LinkedIn, and I've pulled up LinkedIn Sales Navigator that everyone around the world might be familiar with. When you do go to an App Exchange product on Salesforce, it'll give you the ability to look at what the app might do. In some cases there are videos, but in this case there are a lot of pictures, and they're essentially giving you an understanding of what is possible with the application once it's installed, how it's going to look, what sort of things you can and cannot do as part of this. Now, you also get to know whether that app is paid or free. You can see what data was actually listed on, what the rating is, and of course, when the last release or update for that app came out. Now, as you guys know, Salesforce apps are in fact maintained by the developers, and you can scroll further down, get a clear understanding of what the app will deliver for you, if there are any bugs that have been fixed as part of a new release. But you also get to understand exactly, as we scroll further down, who has actually developed it. Are there any case studies associated to them? Any customization guides that are available for you to make some layout changes and things like that? It also gives you the ability to see in the app itself, before you install it, if there are any other requirements that you need to ensure this app works as well as possible. And of course, what sort of impact in terms of Salesforce objects and or processes that it will use up within Salesforce. As you scroll further down, if there are any associated apps with this, those will show up as well. Down the bottom, again, this is based on what customers have already installed, all the customers that have installed this app. So it's pretty cool because you can see what other people have installed based on what you're looking for as well. Now, to complete the installation is pretty straightforward. You just go ahead and click Get It Now. It's going to give you a pop-up. You can go ahead and install it in production, or you can install in Sandbox and trial it out and see how it goes, and then install in production and reconfigure it. So we're going to go ahead and complete the installation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator as part of this particular demo. Now, as always, because it's a Salesforce app, you need to ensure that you go ahead and accept the terms and conditions, because these are laid out both in conjunction with Salesforce and also the developer of this particular app. So I'm going to click Confirm and Install, and it's going to go ahead and possibly ask me to log into Salesforce again so I can authorize the installation of this particular app. And now the app might go ahead and take some time to install. When it does install or the installation completes, you'll go ahead and receive an email advising you that it has been installed successfully. Great. Once the app has been installed, you will go ahead and find it in installed packages, and you'll be able to see the publisher or the package name for that particular app. In this case, we've gone ahead and installed LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So that shows up here under the publisher as Salesforce Navigator. Now you can find this under Setup, and if you navigate to Install Packages, you'll be able to see this particular package. Now, with all packages, once installed, you will have a permission set created as part of this particular app or any particular app. And you will just need to go into the permission set and apply that particular permission set. Now remember, with all apps, it is imperative that you set up a custom domain. If you are going to use the Salesforce default domain, you're not going to get the most out of it. So ensure that you do in fact have a custom domain set up. So if you do choose to go down the path of customization because the solution that you're after or the type of integration that you're trying to create with an external app is in fact very, very bespoke based on your business case, and there is nothing available, then what you need to consider is something called an application lifecycle. So this allows you to understand all the risks and the complexities involved when it comes to building a custom application from the ground up. Now in this case, remember, unless you are a Salesforce developer or an accredited developer, I wouldn't recommend you go down this path. It will be very, very hard for you to come up with the right solution. But hypothetically speaking, say you've got a team or a partner that's going to build out a custom solution for you. I think it's really important that you understand some of the risks and you always ask questions, even if they are simple, stupid questions. It's really important that you do. So a couple of things to understand as part of customization. It's most likely going to mean that you are building something called Apex, which is Salesforce's platform code. Although you don't need to understand Apex to be able to direct a developer to do it, you do need to understand that the more complex the solution, the higher the risk is involved. Also remember, when it comes to customizations, Salesforce themselves, being a platform, is always doing some new releases. And as part of those new releases, there will be some security fixes and some tightening up required, in addition to some code changes. So Salesforce has a variety of code versions. You can go ahead to developer.salesforce.com, find out. Right now we're in winter 21, so that means it is the API version number 50 if you are doing any custom code. Now, alongside custom code, you can come in here, have a look at some of the examples that may be there. There are some REST code examples that you can have a look at. Although this might not mean much to you, just getting an understanding based on some of these examples might allow you to direct your developers and or Salesforce partner a little bit better around the requirements. Also, getting a basic understanding of something so that you can ensure you get the best end result or the best product is going to be very, very important. Customization is very expensive, so it means that if you don't know what you want and you're expecting something, the chances are, if you're not clear enough, those requirements are not going to be met. In addition to Apex, if you are wondering about, does my org actually have some customization or some custom code? Where should I be looking for this? You can go ahead, log into setup using the cogwheel once you log into Salesforce, and you want to be looking for Apex and Quick Find. And in here, if you go to Apex classes, you will notice anything with a box pulling from the top, that is essentially a managed package installed. And anything that is completely custom code will in fact appear here in this list without this particular managed package. Another way to tell whether there is some custom code within your Salesforce org is by checking Apex triggers, and you'll be able to see if there are any pieces of code in here. Anything listed in these two places are in fact custom code. Again, if it's got the box with the arrow pointing down, it means it is an application or a managed package that has been installed that is controlled by most likely someone on the App Exchange. If you do go ahead and find any customization, you can go to something called all custom metadata types, and it will allow you to turn them off if required from here. And that way you can check and see exactly what that custom code is doing based on a number of scenarios when you do turn it off and then turn it back on. So as part of the comparison, Salesforce apps from the App Exchange by all means save you a lot of time. It's click and install, whereas customization, you can go ahead and definitely build something bespoke, but as a result, you need to understand the Salesforce architecture well, or you need a set of developers and a Salesforce admin. For apps installed from the App Exchange, you just scroll through and you install the app. You don't need to be an admin to do the configuration. There are some guides as a result of those existing on the Salesforce App Exchange in terms of how you can configure them. With Salesforce apps, you have the ability to have free apps available that connect to third parties. So you definitely want to be using those as opposed to creating some customization. As you know, with customization or custom development, there is a development cost. And if it is a one-time cost for the business, that's great, but in most cases it isn't. It's an ongoing cost as the platform continues to change. Now, when it comes to apps, the code is maintained by the developer, so you end up paying for a monthly or a yearly fee as a result, and all the security issues are taken care of. All the updates and upgrades are taken care of. There's nothing that you need to really worry about. When it comes to customization or custom development, you have to be on top of it. If you are not, chances are after a period of time, things may break or it may cause some issues, and you might be twiddling your thumbs if you have not understood or don't have a developer or a partner on board. Now, again, Salesforce Apps, really easy. You just search, install, configure, add a permission set if it is available, or add it to the page layout, and you're done. When it comes to customization and development, you need a plan in place because it's not as simple. The timeline on that is a lot more. It's not a one-day job. It usually is at least a 4 to 8 week exercise for a business. Now, the best time to use apps, again, are when there are small requirements or integrations with third parties where possible, whereas custom development comes into play if you do have a custom platform that you've built with developers, then the chances are you are going to need some customization, some custom integrations on that. And of course, if you have some very, very large requirements, or you're trying to create some immense complexities within Salesforce. Now, when it comes to apps, very easy. Most apps will come with a couple of built-in reports or report templates for you to use to start off with, making it a lot easier to report on as time goes on. Whereas when it comes to customization development, you need to create something called custom report types in Salesforce. And then as the development changes, you need to, of course, constantly update that report type to ensure the right fields are added and the right metrics are being calculated. I hope you guys had fun. Again, I'm trying not to make this too technical for everyone out there, but I hope you guys can understand the clear differences and also where you would use a Salesforce App Exchange product over customization. And of course, if your business has a bespoke, unique process that you're trying to establish and trying to create efficiency, then there's no other way. There is no app going to be out there that might allow you to do something generic. You will have to go down the customization path. And if you do, again, just bear in mind costs, timelines, and of course, you need to actively have someone in the business dictate the requirements. If you get all of those rights, customization can be an absolute great thing because now you've just increased the IP using Salesforce within your business. Thanks again, guys. Have a lovely day.
Hey guys, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you like it. Also, please don't forget to go ahead and share this with anyone that you think might benefit from it, especially all those brand new up and coming Salesforce gurus. And as always, you can find some more episodes right here.